Are you the type of person who stays up to all hours at night, deep diving into the weird and wonderful corners of the internet, taking a trip down one rabbit hole after another? Well, whether we care to admit it or not, everyone loves a conspiracy theory, and today the team at Hollywood Darkside are here to give the people what they want. When it comes to the world of conspiracy theories, few have sparked quite as much intrigue and alarm as the infamous Pizzagate conspiracy. You might want to buckle up for this one, because it's one hell of a ride. Ready? Let's go. What's so scandalous about pizza? To get to the heart of this conspiracy, let's rewind back to a pivotal time in modern political history, March 2016. It all began during the rather tumultuous U.S. presidential election, when a cyber attack targeted the personal email account of John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chair. The hackers, employing a spear phishing tactic, accessed and distributed Podesta's personal emails, which were later published by WikiLeaks. Thanks to these emails, a rumor came to light that the NYPD had stumbled upon a child trafficking ring, but not just any child trafficking ring. This enterprise was supposedly linked to high-ranking members of the Democratic Party. These emails supposedly contained coded messages and allegedly revealed a secret network involving prominent Democratic officials and various U.S. restaurants. At the center of this alleged network was a horrifying web of human trafficking and child exploitation. The Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞 singled out as a central hub for these alleged activities. The so-called secret code. So what was so juicy about the secret messages within Podesta's emails? I hear you ask. Well, here are the main elements that were taken and blown way out of proportion. Cheese pizza was bizarrely claimed to be code for child pornography, based on the initials CP. Similarly, an email about walnut sauce was wrongly perceived as a cryptic reference to illegal activities. Another email mentioning a pizza-related map on a handkerchief was also distorted into a supposed clue for illicit operations, spreading like digital wildfire. The phenomenon surrounding this alleged underground sex ring that would come to be known as Pizzagate was largely facilitated by social media platforms and internet forums. Websites such as 4chan, 8chan, Reddit, and Twitter became hotbeds for the propagation of the conspiracy. The claims were not only propelled by anonymous internet users, they also found voice through members of the alt-right community, conservative journalists, and others who had previously pushed for legal action against Hillary Clinton over her use of a private email server. This digital wildfire was further fueled by the echo chamber effect of social media, where repeated sharing and discussion of the theory created an illusion of credibility among certain groups. The algorithm-driven nature of social media platforms meant that once a user showed even the smallest amount of interest in the conspiracy, they were more likely to be presented with similar content, which only served to reinforce their belief in the allegations. However, despite its widespread dissemination, Pizzagate was ultimately discredited by a wide range of organizations, including the Washington, D.C. police. So that's the end of the story, right? Not quite. Although the investigators came to determine that the theory held no weight, Pizzagate was responsible for countless instances of harassment, threats, and violence. The real-world consequences for Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria. For Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria, the family-friendly restaurant in Washington, D.C., who found itself at the center of this conspiracy storm, life would never be the same again. Pizzagate alleged that this was the epicenter of a child trafficking ring, and although baseless, this accusation had profound and alarming consequences for the business. As the conspiracy theory gained momentum, the restaurant became the target of never-ending harassment and threats. At one point, a man named 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞 attempted to set fire to the establishment. Its owner, James Alefantis, and his employees were subjected to a barrage of menacing messages and phone calls. The threats were not only confined to digital platforms, which would be harrowing enough. They spilled over into the real world, creating an atmosphere of fear and intimidation for those associated with the pizzeria. The situation drastically escalated on December 4, 2016, when Edgar Madison Welch, a man from North Carolina, clearly under the spell of the Pizzagate conspiracy, stormed into 𝐿𝐤𝐤 armed with a rifle. 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞 claimed he was there to self-investigate before firing a number of shots inside the restaurant. 𝐥𝐤𝐤 later surrendered to the police and was arrested, but his actions were a stark reminder of how online words can lead to real-world violence. Fortunately, the incident came and went with no injuries. The harassment faced by 𝐿𝐤𝐤 was not an isolated event. The conspiracy theory poisoned other nearby people and businesses who were baselessly linked to the rumors through no fault of their own. These entities faced similar threats and harassment, emphasizing the implications of spreading misinformation. Where do they come up with this? Do you ever look at a conspiracy theory and just think some people have way too much time on their hands? Some of the wildest beliefs surrounding the Pizzagate fiasco include: Justin Bieber adjusting his beanie during an Instagram live session was interpreted by followers of the Pizzagate conspiracy as a signal confirming his involvement in child sex trafficking. A photo of President Obama playing table tennis was falsely used to link him to 𝐿𝐤𝐤, even though the photo was clearly taken inside the White House. The linking of Pizzagate to a new conspiracy theory involving Wayfair, where expensive cabinets named after females sparked rumors of child trafficking. The theory bizarrely linked John Anthony Podesta to the abduction of missing British girl Madeleine McCann. Some theorists claimed that 𝐿𝐤𝐤's Instagram account contained images linked to satanic and occult practices, including Halloween decorations and goblin illustrations. There was a baseless theory that the gunman, Edgar Madison Welch, who fired shots in 𝐿𝐤𝐤, was a paid actor rather than a genuine believer in the conspiracy. The resurgence of the conspiracy theory in 2020, particularly its spread among younger audiences on platforms like TikTok, and its shift from a politically charged conspiracy to targeting celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres and Chrissy Teigen. It all comes back to politics. The Pizzagate conspiracy theory did not exist in a vacuum. It evolved as quickly as it emerged and was boosted by the highly charged political atmosphere. The conspiracy surfaced and gained traction at a time when tensions were high, and public trust in traditional media was wavering. Pizzagate, to some extent, was a reflection of the polarized political environment, where sensational and unverified claims could quickly amass huge levels of attention. Whether or not they had any credibility didn't seem to matter once the word was out there. Unsurprisingly, Pizzagate was used as a political tool and was weaponized by certain groups and individuals to undermine the Democratic Party and its representatives, most notably Hillary Clinton. Her opponents used it to their advantage to call her integrity into question, as well as that of her associates. Pizzagate also brought to light the role fake news plays in shaping political discourse. There was a notable shift around this time where we were seeing fabricated stories with sensational headlines circulated widely on social media, often receiving more engagement than factual reporting. This phenomenon highlighted the challenges in discerning fact from fiction in the digital age. What came next? The impact of Pizzagate went beyond the 2016 election. It paved the way for future conspiracy theories, like QAnon, which took root in similar ground. A mixture of political prejudice, distrust in mainstream media, and the unchecked spread of false information online. Pizzagate was simply a precursor to a whole new wave of conspiracy theories that thrive on unfounded allegations to fulfill a political agenda. Pizzagate didn't remain confined to the United States. In countries like Turkey, it found a receptive audience when Turkish media reported on the conspiracy theory, often without a hint of critical analysis. Reports also indicated a disproportionate number of tweets about Pizzagate originating from countries like the Czech Republic and Vietnam, emphasizing the global spread of the conspiracy. In this context, Pizzagate was utilized as a diversionary tactic, drawing attention away from domestic issues and aligning with the government's broader political narrative. Debunking Pizzagate. Despite its widespread impact, the Pizzagate conspiracy theory has been publicly debunked by numerous reliable sources. A critical examination of the claims reveals a lack of credible evidence and endless misinformation and unfounded speculation. Investigations by law enforcement, including the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, found no evidence to support any of the criminal accusations made in the conspiracy theory. The supposed coded messages within John Podesta's emails, which conspiracy theorists claimed were evidence of the ring, have been shown to be routine communications, grossly misinterpreted and taken out of context. Independent fact-checking organizations as well as major news outlets such as the New York Times have rigorously analyzed these claims and found them to be entirely unsubstantiated. Additionally, the idea that Comet Ping Pong harbored a secret child sex dungeon was proven to be completely false. The pizzeria, like many other small businesses, does not even have a basement, directly contradicting claims of hidden rooms where nefarious activities were alleged to have taken place. Additionally, many of the images and symbols that were claimed to be evidence of the conspiracy were either taken out of context or fabricated. Photos from the pizzeria and its staff were grossly misrepresented, and symbols were falsely associated with pedophilia with no basis in reality. Final thoughts on Pizzagate. Isn't it scary when you think that a few words on a computer screen can be taken as gospel and twisted into a motive for harassment and violence, ruining businesses and lives in the process? The way the whole Pizzagate situation blew up out of nowhere, despite the absence of credible evidence, highlights the dangers of misinformation in the digital age we're living in. It emphasizes the importance of media literacy and verifying information through reliable sources. Reddit's banning of the Pizzagate and QAnon subreddits, Twitter's purge of QAnon accounts, and TikTok blocking QAnon hashtags, indicating a growing response from social media platforms to combat the spread of such conspiracy theories. Don't forget to share your 2 cents in the comments below. Check out the link in the description, and hit the like and subscribe buttons to be the first to see new content from your friends here at Hollywood Dark Side.